Are you afraid to tell your friends that you care? Do you wish others would open up more to you? We'll talk about what it means to show appreciation and affection to your friends without being prompted and without coming off as needy. Dr. Lino Martinez is a doctor of clinical psychology, a practitioner of Buddhist psychology, and a survivor of a progressive rare genetic disease. His practice as a doctor of psychology and study of Buddhist psychology has enabled him to expand his mind in the most meaningful way. Because of his rare disease, he has undergone over 40 surgeries in 10 years to save his life. He also received gender affirming surgery and treatment, which he believes is just as life saving as any of the other procedures. He's written a book highlighting his experiences and life lessons called A Little Less Fear. He lives to help others by exploring the depths of life so that we end human suffering and thrive in affection. Today, he's here to share how his journey has helped him love himself more and has thrusted him forward to his life purpose. Welcome, Dr. Lino Martinez.
Thanks so much. So happy to be here. This is really amazing. I want to thank everybody for being vulnerable and being open and not being shy today. I know that it takes a lot to be able to express yourself and just to even be able to be present. So thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Lee, for holding this space. And yeah, let's talk about affection here. So I'd like to take about 5 to 7 minutes just to kind of reiterate here on why I love this topic. And before we actually talk about affection, so first and foremost, it hasn't been easy to create self love. And I am going to be talking about different types of affections, ways that you can show affection to other people. But in order for me to get there, I need to tell you how I even got this far. So, just as we just heard, yes, I've had over 40 surgeries to save my life in under 10 years from a rare genetic disease called Muckle-Wells syndrome that's statistically 1 in a million. And in between all that is was actually really difficult for me to cultivate self-love and to figure out what was going to bring me joy in life. It's only been 3 years that I've had my voice back. The disease causes atypical paralysis, so I actually didn't talk for a little over 2.5 years. I had to learn sign language. I wear hearing aids, so I was becoming deaf and mute. Becoming deaf and mute actually is really what sat my ass down. Excuse my language. I feel like my higher self sat me down and said, "Look, you got to listen inside, from the inside. We're going to sit you down. You're going to be quiet because you have no choice now, but other than to figure out who you are, what you want in life, and why you are in this journey." So it became really lonely. As many friends as I did have a lot of friends, and I'm very fortunate to say that a lot of the friends that I have now have been my friends for over 20 years. But when I lived in hospitals for 12 years, it became very lonely, and I started to feel like I can't relate to anybody. I mean, who else in my circle has a disease that's 1 in a million? Who else in my circle is dying to save their life from the time they were born? Who else in their circle lost their urinary bladder and cannot pee anymore like a normal person? It was really, really difficult for me to come out of this depression. And believe it or not, I mean, losing my bladder, losing any vital organ is very, very detrimental to somebody's well being. It was a 13 and a half hour surgery, 3 blood transfusions, and it took 5 years to heal. I pee out of a stoma, which is the side of my stomach, and I have to catheterize every 3 hours, otherwise I pee on myself. So I started to become very closeted and very closed with everything that I was going through, and in between all that, I felt like a man. I was a female the first 34 years of my life. So I was struggling not only with my gender, but I was struggling with keeping my friends because it was getting really lonely in hospitals. And I was struggling with loving myself. How can I love myself if my body is failing me? I cannot speak, I cannot hear. I had a feeding tube that was just removed 2 months ago. So I'm finally thriving. I had a feeding tube for 9 months. I was losing my ability to eat. I was basically dying a really slow death. And once I actually became silenced and quiet is actually when I found Buddhism. And when I found Buddhism is really when I found true love, because Buddha loves everybody regardless of who you are, what you've been through, and with all open arms. So I started meditating, and when I started meditating is really when I came in contact with my higher self, with my energetic field, my energetic aura. And within all that is actually when I sat down and realized that everything that I had gone through my life up until now was to better understand the world, to better understand humanity, to have more compassion and more love. So the more pain I went through, the more I had to love myself, and I had to love that part of my body, and I had to trust my body. Guess what? I've got cells in my body. When was the last time any of you trusted the cells in your body? Said, "Thank you, brain cells. I have the ability to think today, to be cognitive. Thank you, heart cells. You have the ability to beat for me. I don't have to think about you beating. You're beating automatically for me. Thank you, body. I'm able to stand up today. I'm no longer wheelchair bound." I mean, just so much to be thankful for, and I started cultivating love. So, other than when I first became had these permanent disabilities, I thought to myself, "Wow, I've got these disabilities," and I kept kind of like getting in that frame of mind. Disability means I'm not able to do what most other people, normal people, can do. But when I started cultivating love and started seeing myself with the eyes of unconditional love, I don't mean just love. Oh, I love you, Lino. I love you. What is the meaning of unconditional love? It means that I love you regardless of the condition. So regardless of what I went through, I started loving every single part of my body, my toes, my feet, my hands, my nerves, my veins, my eyes, my eyelashes, everything. And the more I started cultivating unconditional love is actually when I saw the word ability and disability. And you know what? Actually, dis is just a tiny little three little words in the whole word disability, disability. I've got abilities that other people can't do. And because of that, I have the ability to expose myself, to be vulnerable, to be just the same, what Coach Lee just said, to share my truth so that I can welcome everybody with open arms and say, "Hey, guess what? You're a female and you're struggling with really bad menstrual cycles. I know what that's like. I used to be a female and I used to have a backwards uterus and I had cervical cancer. I know what it's like to go through all that. I am so blessed by it." And I and you know what was one of the most difficult thing here, and also telling my story, is that I had a lot of trans men reaching out to me. "Hey, you got to speak up for us. You got to speak up for us." But the reason I'm not speaking up for only trans men is because I'm speaking up for everybody. Because everybody in the world is suffering one way or another. And the more that you box yourself in, "I am this, I am that, I am that," that's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is I love myself regardless of how I was born, regardless of what I've gone through. And because of that, I'm going to start radiating that naturally. And I'm going to start loving you, and everybody equally. So that I'm certain that everything that I've gone through is to be able to love myself more, to be able to love you more, and to be able to love everybody more, regardless of what you've been through. So there's my 5 to 7 minute introduction. I don't know if I went past that, but let's go on to affectionate. How's everyone doing so far? Awesome, great. So affection. It's not the easiest topic to talk about for many people, for many different reasons. Reasons can range from feeling not worthy of the topic, from because of fear, abuse, or anything else in between. Then there are those who undeniably love being affectionate and are so affectionate freely. Is there a right way to be? Well, technically, no, but if you want to attract more warmth in your life, more joy, more abundance, more miracles, more love, more radiance, more laughter, more intimacy, more connection, more friends, then becoming an affectionate human being cannot be so bad. Cultivating affection helps create long lasting friendships, and it helps keep love within yourself strong. In this presentation of affection, we will be discussing the definition of affection, ways to express affection using the 5 love languages, what is self-affection, what affection does to our brain, and we will briefly discuss the heart chakra. All these elements help create a sustainable relationship with yourself and in friendships. One might ask, well, what is affection anyway? What is considered affection? So I asked myself this question. I was like, okay, well, what's considered affection to like the regular person out there that hasn't gone through what I've gone through or come to these realizations? So I Googled it. And the Google definition is just not what I was feeling, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, because if you Google, this is what you're gonna find. It sounds a little cold, but this is what you're gonna find out there. So affection or fondness is a disposition of state of mind and body that is often associated with a feeling or type of love. It has given rise to a number of branches of philosophy and psychology concerning emotion, disease, influence, and state of being. Affection is popularly used to denote a feeling of a type of love amounting to more than goodwill or friendship. Writers on ethics generally use the word to refer to distinct states of feeling, both lasting and spasmodic. Some contrast it with passion as being free with a distinctively sensual element. Even a very simple demonstration of affection can have a broad variety of emotional reactions from embarrassment to disgust, pleasure, and annoyance. It also has a different physical effect on the giver and the receiver. While this is just a definition found online, there are easier ways to understand affection, and we can start by discussing ways to express it. So, how can we express affection? Expression. We will next discuss ways to express affection with your partner, friends, family, socially, and with yourself. I'm laughing because while we're talking, my cat is trying to get on my lap, and I'm trying to cultivate affection with him and petting him with my foot, and at the same time talking to all of you. So give me a moment. Affection can be communicated to your partner, your friends, your family, and children by looks, words, gestures, or touches. Let's investigate ways to convey love and social connection. All right. The five love languages explains how people can communicate affections to each other. And I do have this printed out. I had a really bad COVID this whole week, so I did not make any slides, but whoever wants this print, I can email it to whoever wants this. So here we go. Love language number 1, words of affirmation. Those of us who love language is words of affirmation prize verbal connection. They want to hear you say precisely what you appreciate or admire about them. For example, I really loved it when you made dinner last night. Wow, it was so nice of you to organize that neighborhood garage sale. Or just, I love you. For the people in your life that you see often in person, you could film, I'm sorry, that you do not see often in person, you could film a short video to send them from your phone or your tablet. Tell them you miss them or simply that you are thinking of them or have a nice day. And for the people that you are seeing all of the time, you remember that even making tiny gestures matters. Wake up in the morning or go in the kitchen, write a sweet post it note next to a glass of ice water on the counter, which is another type of love language, an act of service. If I know that there's a friend in my circle that it has a words of affirmation type, that is how they show their love language. I make sure to include thank yous every day if I can. If they say, hey, have a great day, thank you. Thank you so much. You too. There, people are going to show you the way that they want to be loved. And if you take time to pay attention to these cues, you're going to reflect that back, and it's going to be a mutual give and take. Are there any questions so far with words of affirmation? Yes, be intentional about connection. Absolutely. Love language number 2 is acts of service. Some of us feel most love when others lend a helping hand or do something kind for us. In your home, you could be proactive and do something that eases your person's daily grind. Why not take on the chore that everyone avoids doing, whether that's cleaning the oven, changing the litter box, or filling and running the dishwasher. For anyone whose love tank is filled up by people pitching in, seeing someone intentionally scanning the environment to figure out what they can do to make the environment better sends a clear and loving message to them. So yeah, my roommate, I live with a total dude, total surfer dude, just dude to the dude max. And so he's not very affectionate, he's just like, hey, what's up, like. But he shows me affection by, like, we'll cook and then he'll wash the dishes, or if I cook, we kind of exchange. You wash the dishes, I wash the dishes. These are acts of service that are showing that we love and appreciate each other. Yes, see a need, fill a need. Exactly. Thank you. Love language number 3. Am I going too fast?
No, you're not going too
All right.
fast, but if you want to engage us some more, I hear you. I will.
I like the comments on the side here. Thanks so much. Usually kind of personal. Right. Yeah, exactly. Acts of service. Most of the time I just wanted. Yeah. So love language number 3 is gifts. Those of us whose love language is gifts aren't necessarily materialistic. Instead, their tanks are filled when someone presents them with a specific thing, a tangible, whether it's tangible or intangible, that helps them feel special. Yes, it really is the thought that counts. When you're out grabbing groceries, pick up your roommate's favorite chocolate, your kid's favorite chapstick, your mom's favorite. Oh my gosh, Tamara. Your mom's favorite drink. And I don't mean that, I don't mean alcoholic beverage, okay? Your partner's favorite chips, your friend's favorite sports drink, and drop it by their door. Gifts don't have to be extravagant. It can be as small as a post-it note for the ones who love posting notes everywhere and writing one of those notes. Hey, have a wonderful day, have an incredible day, have a fantabulous day. A small gift can even be a card. I have a couple Valentine's cards that I'm sending out to some friends, and they're not going to expect it, but that I know that they are the type of person that would love to receive something like that, so why not share with them a simple Valentine's Day card? Love language number 4, quality time. Oh my goodness, right? Quality over quantity. Having another person's undivided, dedicated attention is precious currency for the people whose love language is quality time. Make an intentional effort to have Zoom coffee dates with the colleagues you've been missing, or go on distant walks with your in laws if you get along with them, if they're in laws and not outlaws. Put a good old fashioned phone call each week on the calendar with your best friend, or schedule an in house board game night with your friends or your partner. No phones or distractions allowed. Nothing says I love you in quality time language better for them than being the only thing that's on your agenda. Put your phone down, people. Come on. If you're hanging out with some people, I mean, I'll give you an example. I hung out with my girlfriend's friends and family. It was my first time meeting all of them. And as social as you see me and you feel me right now, when I'm in a large group of people and there's like 20, 30 people, sometimes I can shy down and shy away. And one of the easiest things to do is to like grab my phone. Oh, what's going on here? But I had to make that intention to show that I'm here to give quality time to not just her, to everybody around, because everybody's here connecting together. And the best thing to do in that situation is put your phone down, put it away. Love language number 5 is physical touch. Expressing the language of physical touch can be as platonic as giving a friend an enthusiastic fist bump when they tell you that they landed an interview for a dream job, or as intimate as a kiss with your partner to mark the end of a workday. I know that there's some parents out there with young children, and spending too much time in the same space can create a rub, quite literally. They'll do anything to have fewer people touching them, fewer hours a day. And at the same time, for those living alone or those self isolating because of their exposure or health risks, they're experiencing the painful opposite, which is a lack of touch. While there are no easy solutions for either case, we can get creative. If you know someone who's overwhelmed by the small hands reaching out to them, you might offer to take the kids to the park so they can run off some of that energy. For loved ones who are touch deprived, try emailing them an outline of your hand and instruct them to put their hand on yours. Even thinking about a warm embrace, something you can do also by texting people, by the way, you can text them the hug emoji. But even thinking about a warm embrace, these small gestures in your own brain sends the same chemicals called endorphins that an actual hug would produce. So you could sit by yourself. Let's say you have a friend that really needs this touch, that really needs this hug. Sit down by yourself. Close your eyes. Imagine I'm hugging Deborah right now. I'm taking a deep breath. I'm holding her close. I love you, Deborah. And you're connected that way. You're automatically sending those endorphins. It's a really beautiful act. Love languages are a worthwhile concept to become fluent at this time in the world. Long before COVID arrived in the scene, we were already living through an epidemic of loneliness. Loneliness is not just about being alone, it's about experiencing a lack of satisfying emotional connections. By taking the time to learn each other's love languages and then using them, we can strengthen our relationships and our bonds to each other. Does anyone have any questions so far? Physical touch. I tell people often. Took me a while. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but I have a comment on,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that the love language, the fifth love language of touch,
Yes.
that's something that really it was really hard for me to do. Like people were like, I'm a hugger. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I would never initiate. That comes from some trauma that I've had with dealing with people and touching it and so forth. I just felt like I just felt uncomfortable. I felt
Yeah.
uncomfortable with it. And so I realized that that was something that was missing in my connections and friendships with people. And I remember someone was trying to help me. So I had a roommate who we went to lift weights together. And they were going to spot me on a squat that I was going to do. So they got behind me, they put their hands on my hips, and I was like, get off me. It's like the worst thing. I just had a reaction. I don't know where it came out of nowhere, but I felt so uncomfortable. And our relationship was as roommates was kind of distant. They would always go do their own thing, but it just goes to show that that's one of those things that we need is connection. Like I really didn't trust him to help me with this weight that I was going to lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like his trust was safe. His touch was safe. That's what I mean. And so I really believe that, that's a love language. It's part of connecting with people.
It is, Lee, and thanks for sharing that. A lot of the times when we recluse about something, it's an internal message to tell us what needs attention and what needs to be cultivated. And in a way, that was like a rejection. But one of the most wonderful things that I learned in Buddhism is that rejection is actually a redirection. So it's going to be redirecting you on what needs attention. So remember that, everybody. All rejections are redirections. Any type of rejection, whether it's a job, whether it's someone not wanting to be friends with you, or whatever it is, it's going to redirect you in the way and take you to the path that you're supposed to be taking.
Can I just
What is
comment on
self-love?
Oh, sorry.
Self-affection or self-love? And what are ways to grow affection with oneself? So some of the most important things that you can do to create self-affection, one of the most important things is to give up self-blame. When negativity needs a target, opt out. Step aside, do spiritual aikido, get out of that energy. Self-blame can have a downward spiral effect and ultimately can lead to depression, isolation, and trapping yourself. Find a garden, if not literally, then do symbolically. We each need a space, a place in which to step out of the ruckus of the world, a zone of quietude in which to reflect and contemplate what is best for us, what cup to hand over, and what cup is ours to carry. Be prepared to stand your ground when you feel betrayed. Take yourself out of situations and friendships that do not have a reciprocation. Give and receive. Find connections that have a quality of mutual exchange in them. Forgive all that depletes life. Include in this relationships that are deadening, beliefs about yourself or others that rob you of joy and vitality. Make a list of them and address them one by one. Free yourself, for in the past you know not what you do. Now that you recognize what kills off life, forgive yourself and ignore for ignorance in the past. You have done your best. If your inner GPS advises you to take a break, go into solitude, listen to your inner voice, and give yourself a break. Listen to music or write, go for a walk, take a nap, meditate, call a friend, walk in nature, read a book, watch a movie, listen to a podcast, watch a comedy, color a book, create art, write in a journal, take yourself to a coffee shop, cook, eat your favorite food. Give yourself permission to feel good, to experiment with your looks, to take yourself shopping or try something new, to give yourself compliments and to feel gratitude. Give give yourself a chance to simply just be. At night, attend your physical body through soothing massage, ointments, light up candles or incense, soul cleansing salt baths, and senses that awaken and calm your senses, such as essential oils. Come for a visit with your deepest self. Show respect. Grieve what is ending. Wait what is coming. Keep hope, faith, and compassion alive. Be still and know that all is well. Everybody, be still and know that all is well. Cultivating self-affection is a means of grabbing your ground of original being, devoting yourself to whatever arises in your heart that brings pure delight, beauty, discovering where this leads in the land of uncertainty. We are here now. Why not live now? Why not love the whole of who we are? In this life we live, this is all we've got. So let's be adventurous. Be adventurous about the life that you've got. We are here to come into a loving relationship with all and celebrate this grand and glorious life, regardless of the bumps along the road. Remember that success is not final and failure is not fatal. Success is not final and failure is not fatal. Therefore, you cannot go wrong with self-affection because there is no limit. Any questions about cultivating self-affection? Thanks, Tamala. Yeah.
Could you say that thing about success again?
Yeah, absolutely. So success is not final and failure is not fatal. I will survive. I know as I got love, I know I'll stay alive. That should be your motto every day. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give. So next we're going to talk about what affection does to our brain. Your brain's reward system relies on dopamine, which is a brain chemical to reinforce pleasurable behaviors, including eating, listening to music, physical intimacy, and seeing people you love. Simply thinking about the object of your affections is enough to trigger dopamine release, making you feel excited and eager to do whatever it takes to see them. Then when you do see them and you do the action, your brain rewards you with more dopamine, which is why you experience intense pleasure. Lasting love and affection is consistently linked to lower levels of stress. The positive feelings associated with dopamine production can help improve your mood, for one. And some research also suggests that single people, lonely people, people who do not practice affection may have higher levels of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, than the people in mutually exchanged relationships. So yeah, check it out. When I started to get depressed, living in hospitals, and really didn't have many people to talk to, tubes out of my stomach, tubes out of my urethra, out of my back, and IVs everywhere, I started to get lonely. And then I started to realize, you know what I love to do, and this is before I lost my voice, obviously. I love to talk. I love to communicate and get to know people. So who did I have to talk to at that time other than patients? Patients don't want to talk to you. They're feeling shitty. So I started talking to doctors and nurses, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? What brought you to your journey? What made you become a nurse? What made you become a doctor? Do you love what you do? And the more I started to connect with people, the more I started to lower my own levels of stress, and the happier I became. And every time I did that, my hospital stays were shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's how I realized that cultivating this connection with people, even just talking to people, was a sign of affection and giving people love. And they needed it too. Affection is a biological necessity, just like water or exercise or food. Research has shown that a healthy, affectionate life, which could include your beloved partner, your closest circle of friends, your family, and even your favorite sports team, is as essential to a person's well-being as a good diet. If you don't feel that you have meaningful and affectionate relationships, it's as if you are socially thirsty, and your brain sends a signal to tell you that you need help to socialize your body, for your social body. Your social body needs help. It gets thirsty. Some of the alarms activated when people are thirsty are activated when people feel socially disconnected from others. The key is to not suppress these feelings. They are meant to help us survive and thrive. We are meant to do something about it. All right. So next we're going to talk about the heart chakra. We did that incredible meditation. Tate, thanks a lot again earlier. This has definitely catapulted me to my presentation today. So what is the heart chakra and what does it do? Chakras are energy centers in the body. Think of them as spinning wheels that control the subtle flow of energy throughout the body. When constricted, blocked, or out of alignment, our physical, spiritual, and mental health can suffer. In Sanskrit, anahata means unhurt, unstruck, and unbeaten. It is the fourth primary chakra and serves as our center of love for oneself and others, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness. The anahata chakra is associated with unconditional love, compassion, and joy. It is the source of deep and profound truths that cannot be expressed in words. Anahata is a bridge between the lower and upper chakras. Your heart chakra is associated with the element air. The first chakra is earth, steady and grounded. The second chakra, water, brings a fertile creativity. The third chakra is the fire in the belly, required to transform that grounded creativity into positive action. Air disperses and integrates spiritual understanding of love, compassion, and connection to everything you encounter. Air, like love, is within and all around us. We can embody this element by keeping our heart center open and our love free flowing. The anahata chakra is associated with the color green. That's why I wore a green shirt, which represents transformation and love energy. The colors and the symbols are reflective of the vibration of the chakras. The specific colors and symbols arose when the ancient rishis meditated on the energy of the chakras. But if the heart chakra becomes blocked, you'll notice the opposite, both physically and mentally. I love you too. A balanced heart chakra allows us to live with peace, acceptance, tolerance, and tranquility. Because the heart chakra is the seat of empathy and compassion, when in balance, we can more easily forgive those who have wronged us and find peace within our own story. Our ability to love ourselves is in direct correlation to the love we find in our external reality. So indeed, nourishing your heart chakra will draw loving people into your life. Yeah, Kevin, thanks for that green heart. Hey, I love you too, Lee. I love the love fest. Oh my goodness. Signs your heart chakra is blocked. Blocked chakras can affect the entirety of your being. Symptoms of blocked energy can manifest as physical ailments or disease. The heart chakra can directly affect the heart, lungs, chest, arms, and hands. When misaligned, poor circulation, high or low blood pressure, and other heart and lung conditions can result. Issues that can occur in the body can also include infections of the lungs, bronchitis, and circulatory problems. But by the way, I'm not diagnosing anybody's disease, but I'm rather bringing into light parts of your body that can become possibly ill if you have a blocked heart chakra. Blocked energy can also have a profound effect on the nature of our mind and mental state. Mentally, an imbalanced heart chakra can result in a problematic issue such as codependency, manipulative behaviors, feeling of unworthiness, and an inability to trust yourself or others. Other signs your heart chakra may be blocked. You may tend to isolate yourself excessively. You feel lonely. You hold grudges against people you love. You frequently feel jealous. You're overly defensive. You have a fear of intimacy. You put yourself in the role of the rescuer or the victim. You find it difficult to trust others. How to balance the heart chakra? Let's balance that baby out. Through the heart chakra, though the heart chakra can become blocked, It can be brought back to balance through some of these simple tips. Feel gratitude. Feel gratitude. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things a day that you feel grateful for. If you're not comfortable doing that, write down a miracle a day. And anything can be a miracle. A child waving hello is a miracle of love. A beautiful bird flying across you is a miracle of nature. A phone call to or from a friend is a miracle of connection. Write that down. And check it out. If you write it down, by the end of the year, you're going to look at this miracle journal, this gratitude journal, and it's just going to be full of love. It's going to be the year of love. Only if you physically can, practice back bends of any sort. Start with the simple and subtle, such as the cobra pose, and then try more intense upward facing dog and bridge poses. All of these poses open up your body, open up your heart chakra. Only if you can. Don't blame me if you try it and you get hurt. I'm just telling you, only if you can, try these. The fish pose, it's not that hard, but just try the fish pose. Kind of. Sometimes I have a hard time with that, especially when I had the feeding tube. It was hard to do the fish pose. Take part in a loving kindness meditation. You can even YouTube this stuff. YouTube loving kindness meditation or heart chakra meditation. All that stuff is ready for you on YouTube. Use rose quartz. Rose quartz is a heart opening crystal. I have a few, but the only one I had right next to me was this little baby. I don't know if you can't see it because of the light, but rose quartz is this beautiful little rock. A beautiful rock. I mean, it could come in different sizes, but it's like a light pink. Keep it in your pocket. Get a necklace, a rose quartz necklace. Will you believe that? Earth even provides you for ways for you to open up your heart. Right? Earth is like, here, we'll give you some rocks. And you can even drink heart-opening beverages like rose tea and cacao. Practice heart-opening affirmations. Heart chakra opening affirmations are powerful statements that, when repeated with conviction, can open and nourish the heart. Used regularly, heart chakra affirmations can bring more love, peace, compassion, and serenity into your life. Heart chakra affirmations can be used at any time. You can easily repeat them to yourself when you're doing the dishes or walking the dog. There's no limit on the time or place that you can use these affirmations. So we're going to say some 21 heart chakra affirmations. If you are able to, can you unmute yourselves so we can all say this together? 21 heart affirming chakra affirmations.
All right.
Yeah, let's unmute. We're going to start.
Yeah, look at all those balloons.
Let's do this.
Right.
Number 1, I love and accept myself unconditionally.
I love and accept myself
unconditionally.
unconditionally.
Number 2, I am filled with gratitude for the wonderful life I'm living.
I am filled with gratitude for the wonderful life I'm
Wonderful
living.
life I'm living.
Number 3, I am one with all beings and they are one with me.
I am
I
one
am
with
one
all
with all
beings.
beings.
They
They are
They're
one
one
with
with me.
Number 4, I love myself and others fearlessly.
I love myself and others fearlessly.
Number 5, my heart radiates a pure, cleansing, green light.
My heart radiates a pure, cleansing green light.
Green light.
Number 6, I let go. I'm gonna read this in 2 sentences. So I let go of past resentments and
I let go of past resentments and
And
I am thankful for the lessons I learned.
I am
thankful
for the
for the
lessons
lessons
I've
I've learned.
Number 7, I am pure universal love.
I
am pure universal love.
love.
Yes.
Number 8, there is an infinite supply of love.
There is an infinite supply of love.
Remember that, everybody. There's an infinite supply of love because it never runs out. Number 9, I delight in the success of others, for we are all one.
I delight
Delight
in the success of others because we are all one.
Number 10,
fine.
I am cherished, and I cherish you all. I am
I'm
cherished.
cherished.
And cherish
cherish
you all.
all.
Number 11, I see evidence of love all around me.
I see evidence of love all around me.
Number 12, it's safe to love and to be loved.
It
It's
is
safe
safe
to
to
love and to be loved.
Say that one more time because I kind of felt like the energy go down just a little bit. I want everyone to know that you're safe right here, right now, at this present moment, to be loved, okay? And I want you to feel it. So we're going to say this one more time. It's safe to love and to be loved.
It's
It's safe to love and to be loved.
Love.
Yeah. Number 13, I'm open to giving and receiving love.
I am open to giving and receiving love.
Number 14, we're almost there. Thanks for the love fest. This is wonderful.
I love
Number
it.
14,
Yeah.
I am full of love.
I am full of
love.
Love.
Number 15, I invite love into my life.
I invite love to my life.
My life.
Number 16, I am always honest about who I am.
I am always honest about who I am.
Number 17, I am worthy of love and abundance.
I am worthy of love and abundance.
Number 18, okay, this is a long sentence, so we're going to cut it in half here. I let go of all that no longer serves me.
I
let go of all that no longer serves me
With peace and gratitude.
with
with peace and gratitude.
It's good.
Number 19, I am never alone.
I am never
Never
alone.
alone.
Number 20, I am free to be my authentic self with others at all times.
I am
I am free to be my authentic self with others at all times.
Number 21, I live in a state of grace.
Oh,
I
I live in the
a
state
of
of grace.
Yes, everybody, give that round of applause to everybody.
Yes.
A balanced heart chakra. Thanks so much for following along. That was awesome. A balanced heart chakra allows us to live with peace, acceptance, tolerance, and tranquility. Because this chakra is the seat of empathy and compassion, when in balance, we can more easily forgive those who have wronged us and find peace within our own story. Our ability to love ourselves is in direct correlation to the love we find in our external reality. So indeed, nourishing your heart chakra will draw loving people into your life. Healthy and balanced chakra energy is vital for our mental and physical well-being. Our heart center relies on an open heart chakra for free-flowing love, compassion, and empathy. When you feel stuck in these areas, you can balance this energy center with simple tools to open your heart to the love and beauty that's always surrounding us.